All right, people, it's time for us to jump back into Islanders. In our last play session, I built what I consider a very beautiful city, and I stopped right as I was about to click on the Go to a New Island button. But before we do that, I just want to take in the glory of what I have constructed, but I don't want to hold on too tightly to it because I know that once I go to this next island, I can never come back. But I want to remember what I did so I can learn from my mistakes and grow and become a better person. So let's get that travel going. Let's do it. I'm ready to leave and never go back. I think I want to go back instantly. Instantly, I just want to leave. I don't like this island at all. This is going to be probably a little bit challenging. You know, I don't believe I ever really thought of Islanders as being a complex game, but it is possible to get a game over. But the first thing that they gave me is a water plateau, so I'm assuming this is going to allow me to, yeah, construct things on the water. So this will be interesting. It gets points for being next to little islands. I guess this is kind of like an archipelago. So we'll try to put these next to the shrine, because if I do that, then maybe I can put buildings on top of it, on top of the plateau. All right, let's stick that. Let's stick this bad boy right there, and we've got a couple of them, so we can make kind of a network. Oh, it's like I'm playing Tetris right now. Oh, it is exactly like Tetris right now. All right, so we've got this platform that we're going to use to build the rest of our city on top of. Now we've got a lumber pack and a mason. I'm going to start with the lumber pack because we got a lot of trees to work with. And they also give us a water plateau. So it seems like because this island is mostly water, or this section is mostly water, we're going to get a lot of these plateaus to build out our city. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So with the lumberjack, of course, put this bad boy right here. Actually, no, let me start with this sawmill. Anyway, one of the big reasons I've been enjoying playing Islanders so much is because it feels a little bit cathartic for me. And the main reason is because of Anthem. I know I've been talking about it quite a bit, but Anthem as a game failing was very, very disappointing for me for a number of reasons. Okay, if you look at the history of my channel, then you'll probably notice that I typically don't get a lot of views on my videos, which is fine. I'm not upset about that. I understand how YouTube works, and I also understand why I don't get a lot of views most of the time. But every once in a while, a game will creep its way into my heart, and it'll generate some extra traffic. And the hope for me is always that the game that I enjoy playing also is reasonably easy for me to make content for, but it's also popular in some capacity, right? And that was true of Anthem in the beginning. And then it just something happened, man. Something happened, you know. And I won't go into all the details, but the developers over at BioWare, they're messing up. I don't know where to put this lumberjack, and I also kind of don't know where to put this plateau. I guess I should just keep building out this area, make it as large as possible. Maybe I can kind of connect it to the different islands, little by little, so we have kind of a network. That might not be efficient point wise if I kind of just play around with the design a little bit, but again, I always want to have that mixture of looking pretty versus being efficient for points. So let's get the city center. So anyway, I say all that stuff to say about Anthem is that moving into a new game as a content creator that doesn't have a large following of people that just watch my content for me is a terrifying prospect, because it's like starting over. It's like clicking on that new island button and you've got nothing. And I have clicked on the button, and I'm basically in a place where I'm like, yo, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? I'm gonna put the city center there. I don't know if I'm feeling that. I don't know if I like that positioning, but I'm going to have to accept it because there's no takebacks in this game. Oh, gosh. I regret my decision immediately. That's okay. We'll work with it. We'll deal with it. So, right, it's transitioning from one game to the next. It's always this sensation of, well, here we go. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going for it. And clicking on that new island button and seeing all that water, I got that feeling. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? And the answer is put the building in a spot where it gets a lot of points, but also looks kind of pretty. There we go. We're making a neighborhood. Oh no, I think I put the door facing the wrong way. Damn it. Can I fix it? I can't fix it. I've screwed him. I've screwed this guy's house forever. He's got to climb up a ladder. That's whatever. Screw him. Well, this is another water plateau, but this one has a lot of grass on it. That looks pretty cool. I'll put it behind the city center? I'll put it like that. Oh, I'm messing up. I'm messing up. I feel like I'm playing Tetris and I'm just putting blocks in the wrong places. Oh, I'll just save it for now. Let's pick another pack. The Mason pack was pretty good the last time. Gave us a bunch of houses that we can play with. So, yeah, this Islanders game, man, as simple as it is, as easy as it is to grasp onto the concepts, and as much as it may seem like just a mindless game where you just kind of click around, for me, it's felt very cathartic, very important. Wait, did I mess up both of the... Oh my gosh, both of the houses have their doors facing into the water. I'm messing up big time. This is terrible. But the mansions are doing pretty well. I'm doing all of these correctly. Because now we've got kind of a proper row of houses right here. We've got the mansion, city center, mansion. All the doors are facing inwards. This is like a city block. That's great. All right, well, we've got another house. I'm going to fix it. I promise I'll fix it somehow. There's got to be a piece that can fit in this space that will allow this person's house to not be screwed up forever. But I believe I have... Yeah, here we go. We got the fix for this guy. And do we have the fix for this guy? Am I going to save the day like the champion that I am? Tetris. Look at that. We did it, folks. Oh, man. You know, one thing with gaming that always seems to happen is that people get wrapped up in this idea of cartoony graphics. And I want to say that people that are opposed to playing games because they have cartoony graphics are not in touch with their inner child, and that sucks for them. Right? Because what's wrong with Fortnite, really? Well, it looks like a cartoon. It's a stupid kids game. Bleh. Does that really matter, though? I mean, I'm 26 years old. I could boot up Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, any game from my childhood right now, and just be head over heels with it. And it looks like a cartoon. It's not being cartoonish isn't a bad thing. You gotta chill sometimes, is what I'm saying. Hashtag calm your ass down. Okay, so I picked the farming pack, but I don't think I should have picked the farming pack because there's not a lot of places for me to put down the farms. There's these little patches on top of these tiny islands, but there's not a lot that I can do with it. You also can't put a farm. It's called a field in this game. You can't put fields on top of sand or rocks. So we're going to be pretty limited in how we do this. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize that I could use this for farmland. Oh my gosh, the game just got a hell of a lot more meta. Let's do this. We're going to stick a bunch of farms down on this grassy spot. 1, 2, 3, and then we put the mill right in the center. Look how awesome this looks. Oh, okay. Here's the thought process here. I'm trying to metagame this way too hard, probably. What I'm thinking is I should try and get some separation between this city center so that when I get another city pack, I can plop a new city center down without having to worry about negative points. So we're gonna start building out towards the other island a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna start building out. I gotta be careful about how I Tetris these pieces together. We got a shaman and a brewing pack. I'm not too happy about either of those things, but you gotta take what you can get. It seems like everything that I pick, though, automatically gives me 1 water plateau, which is nice. Because that'll always help me expand out a little bit. The shaman is obviously going to go next to the flowers. There's no real rhyme or reason for this. It's just a lot of points. Boom, so place it down. Anyway, so yeah, it's being a... Man, I'll tell you what. I really do love making these videos. But something that the longer I stay away from making the typical build guides and tutorials that I'm sort of known for making, the more I start to miss that, because that is my forte. But I am also reconnecting to this idea that I just love playing video games and fucking around and having a good old time. And because I'm reconnecting with that idea, I'm going to start doing more of that. I'm going to stop having this big separation, because there always seems to be a separation for me between making content that is just having fun with the game and just kind of dicking around, making a fool of myself and having fun, and then making the super serious, like, this is content. This isn't just a YouTube video. This is content. There's always a separation for me between the two, but maybe there should be a synergy. Right? Maybe there should be... I don't know. I don't think I want to put that there. Maybe there should be a connection between the two. It doesn't have to be completely separate. I got to be honest, though. I would want to... I don't know if I would want to live in a place like this, right? Because you're on the water, and number one, there's sharks, so that's a problem. But worse than the sharks is you've just got Mother Nature to contend with. At any given moment, a typhoon or a typhoon. Is the typhoon a real thing? What is a typhoon? A tropical storm in the region of India or Western Pacific Oceans. Why is it only there? Whatever. Doesn't matter. But yeah, just being close to the elements like this, it's a little bit uncomfortable. You know, I'm gonna use the fisher to get more points, because right now I don't want to plop down all my houses because they're not getting a lot of points for me because they're not near a city center. So I'm just gonna plop down this fisher. So we've made it to the next tier. I got a fountain. I don't really want a fountain, don't really need a fountain right now, but I'll take it. So yeah, I wouldn't want to live in a place that's so close to Mother Nature. And that's probably due in part to the fact that I live in a city. So I'm used to the whole being a little bit disconnected from Mother Nature. Now, obviously, living in New York City, there's Central Park. And there's actually quite a decent amount of parks and little pockets of nature spread around the city. So it never feels... I don't feel like I'm completely cut off from the natural, but there's certainly a lot more concrete than there is, grass and stuff like that. So, just came up with an idea for maximum pointage. If we put another one of these grassy plateaus right here, then we can extend the farm out and get a lot of points for that. So that is what we're gonna do. Look at that. We're getting big points for that. So I suppose, though, I could ask the question for anybody that doesn't live in a major city. If you live in a house or in the suburbs, something like that, can you imagine living in a city, and would you ever want to live in a city? I was talking to a friend of mine named John. If you're out there watching, what's good? And he was talking about how New York City is kind of it's a little bit overwhelming, and it kind of is. There's a lot going on. It's very dense at all times, but it's something that I've fully adjusted to from living here for 26 years. So it doesn't feel so overwhelming to me. It feels pretty normal. But then I look at the suburbs, and I look at I have relatives that live in like Georgia and North Carolina and stuff. And I look at their living situation. It's like, oh, you can't take the train everywhere? That's horrible. That seems like a nightmare to me. Okay, we're about to make another rich guy mansion. This guy, he's got a huge backyard, and we can't touch it. So this one plot of land right here is going to be exclusive as fuck. Or maybe not. Yeah, it's not going to be as exclusive as I thought it was going to be. But it's still going to be pretty nice. Maybe, okay, here's the story. This one guy that has this one water plateau, he bought the whole plateau, and all of these mansions are his. Let's do it. Well, no, that doesn't... Is that still giving me points? Yeah, that's giving me a lot of points. Let's do it. Yeah, let's just keep putting them in. Okay, that's enough. We got to save some space for some decorations. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to lie. This is a little bit intense right now because I'm only halfway to getting another island. And I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it. This might be game over. All right. Ooh, this is pretty. So we have a park and a brewing pack. I've been avoiding the brewing pack because I don't know if I really have the space for it. Though granted, I'll probably get a water plateau that I can put it on top of. But if I don't, then that'll be a bit unfortunate. So let's go for the regular park and see if we can do something nice with that. We got 3 pieces that we can use for that. And I wonder where we can... Okay, so we can't put the park on top of non-grassy water plateaus, but we can put it on top of a water plateau like this. So what I'll do is give this guy's mansion complex a little bit of a makeover here. It's getting a lot of bonus points right now. Unfortunately, my desire for aesthetics is interfering with my desire for maximum pointage. I don't know. Anyway, the funny thing is though, even once I get the ability to transition to another island, I don't necessarily want to go to another island because I feel like I'm unfinished with this one. I feel like my designs can go farther. I feel like I can do a lot more. Like I just unlocked a plateau. This is huge and it's beautiful. I mean, look at this. Wow, this is pretty gorgeous. I mean, another thing that this game is kind of teaching me a little bit, it's a teachable moment, if you will, is that you just got to roll with the punches sometimes. Like, if I knew what the plateau looked like before actually getting the piece, it would have changed my design philosophies a little bit, right? I would have thought about my positioning differently. I would have had a different plan of attack, basically. But in the end, I didn't know that this piece was coming. I didn't know that this was going to be a thing. So I've just got to go with it. I've got to accept it for what it is and put it somewhere where it looks okay. It looks kind of okay right there. Now, what can go on top of the plateau? That's a good question. Okay, this looks really cool. I don't feel like I'm done with my current island, but I like the way this came out so far. And what I think I'm gonna do is continue building this, and then when I come back for another play session, we'll see what the finished product looks like, and then we'll move on to another island and start from scratch and see what kind of design elements we can make happen. The main thing that I enjoy about this one is that we've got we took the grid system and we ran with it. We've got this kind of alleyway thing with all these mansions, and we've got these little tiny pathways for the houses as well. So it feels like a grid is happening. And then this floating farm is magnificent as well. And then the plateau, it's got a nice pathway. You know, you walk in, here's your house, here's his house. It's just it's a nice grid. And hopefully in the next island we have a little bit more space, and we could try to branch away from that grid system, start working on some diagonals, you know, start getting a little funky with it. So with all of that said, I'm gonna take a little break, and when we come back, this place is gonna look a little bit different. Then we're gonna move on to another island. It's gonna be a good old time. So I hope you've been enjoying this Islanders gameplay as much as I have been. It's very relaxing for me, and it's possibly relaxing for you as well. It's definitely not as wild and crazy as my Division 2 gameplay, but it's nice to have a little bit of contrast. So as always, the name of the game is Islanders. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Also, you can provide more support to the channel by heading over to patreon.com/iBluairJgR to become a patron if you want to. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.